Hey, everybody. Welcome to HODL the Line, the maiden voyage here. I'm trying to still get some of my
Hey
hair.
everybody, welcome.
Oh, and there goes. See, and it begins. It begins.
That was my fault. My bad.
Oh yeah.
I still had my channel open and
That's all right. We forgive you. We forgive you. Guys, how you doing tonight? I know we've all been running to try and get here for this thing. It's crazy. You think we would have been a little more prepared. Look, I even forgot to turn on my light. Here we go. Hey, now you can see me. There we go.
Oh yeah.
I spent the whole weekend working on my background. Came home today and spent 2 hours measuring, figuring things out. And I was like, all right, I got like 9 different options. And I'm like, fuck, I only have 10 minutes. I was like, you know what? Nothing's really going to get done at this point. So,
Well, now you got a whole nother week because we'll be back live again next Monday, 7 p.m. Our plan is to go live every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And, we'll be tweaking it up as we go. But for the most part, we're hoping to give you some good information on maybe the latest news items, which is a lot of what we're going to be going over today. A little bit of education here and there because, you know what? You can't have enough with the way of education inside of the crypto space. So we're going to try and help out with that. And there we go. So hopefully you'll be sharing this out and you'll be joining us as we're going. Right now, just to give you an idea, we are streaming live on my YouTube channel, on Bedell's YouTube channel, and on X for BC. So BC, how about you, man? I know you were fighting traffic to get here today.
Oh yeah. An hour drive before and after work is not a whole lot of fun. So
No doubt.
I'm glad I actually made it here on time. I had like 10 minutes to spare. So
Nice.
I don't miss those days of an hour plus drive to and from.
I know.
well,
I know.
it wasn't planned. It was like sprung on me. They were like, "Hey, you're gonna work in the city an hour away." I was like, "Oh, well, that's cool. I
That's good to
guess."
know. Yeah.
You didn't give me no options here. I can't choose.
Oh man.
Uh,
Hey, listen, make sure if no matter where you're tuning in, you're subscribing. If you haven't already done so, share this thing out. We want to start growing this. And of course, smash up the like as you're coming on in. Appreciate that very much. All right. Let's see. What are we doing tonight? Tariffs have got to be talked about. And man, tariffs are going to affect the cryptocurrency space, especially those who are mining in the cryptocurrency space. I'm going to show you that first and foremost. We're going to talk a little bit about the latest crypto law that Trump just signed in. So it's the first in the United States. We're going to show you that the Bitcoin FUD has definitely not stopped with some legislators here in the US. And last but not least, we're going to have a little bit of fun as a lawyer is suing the US government to find out the actual person who is Satoshi Nakamoto, because the government knows. We'll laugh about that later.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, that just seems like a lawsuit that's going to go nowhere, in my opinion. And this guy's going to spend millions just to get nowhere.
I would agree with you. All right. So
it's all about the money.
Of course it is. Of course it is. All right. Let's start with the tariffs. I saw this. Now this is not links to pretty much everything we're talking about tonight is in the description of the videos on YouTube. So go ahead and check all of this out yourself. This one, however, is not, because I came across this during the course of the day from Hawk Crypto, and we love Hawk. So I wanted to make sure that we actually put this out, not to mention it was good information. So I'm going to put the link in the actual chat. There we go. I just shot it out. Although BC, you might have to grab that and put it up on your X. It's not, it won't let me post to your X for some reason. So sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the, and bam, boom, there it is. Okay, I put it in the private chat for you, BC. All right, anyway, so Hawk posted this for his clients. He said, I just got a call from FedEx. BTC ASICs are not exempt with the change in the tariffs. 125% still applies. Customers don't, custom doesn't classify ASICs as computer servers. Excuse me. Soon as I get more information, I'll post it. Don't listen to resellers, because I got to believe that a lot of these people are trying to just grab that extra cash. And he has a client, as he says here, who paid $4,700 because a reseller lied about it. Holy crap. That's all I got for that. Just like,
no, I mean, 125%, that means the unit the customer probably bought was worth, say, about $4,000. And he paid $780 extra because of the tariffs.
Yeah, the tariffs throwing it right on there. And I think a lot of people that, miners in the crypto space, that kind of thing, were probably hoping that miners, the mining equipment would be a part of this exemption. And we're going to look at that in a second too, because it started out as, well, there's an exemption, but yet there's really not an exemption. I don't know. These tariffs are really pissing me off, the way that they're handling these tariffs. I kind of believe that they're doing it the way they're doing it to try to create this FUD in, but I'm sorry. I didn't vote for this. Just saying.
Buck said something. He said they are classified by the shipper on the shipping manifest. So it could have just been whoever he bought it from did not put it as it was like a computer or something like that, and so it didn't get that exemption. So
okay. There you go. I guess we'll more information to come. Thank you, Buck. And by the way, Buck in the house, appreciate you being here. We got Shuby in the house. Shuby, appreciate you being here, sir. That post, what really? All right.
Buck's a minor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Army Piper told me I need to get a hold of Buck because he's a minor and I'm a minor. Granted, I feel Buck is on a higher, more scale than I am.
On a whole different level. Yeah, I got you. All right. Well, more to come. But getting back to the tariffs a little bit, and then we'll pull all this information out, and then we'll just like toss it around if that's okay with you guys. Okay, from the Kabisi letter. Here's exactly what happened with tariff exemptions. White House published a note titled Clarification of Exemptions under EO 14257 on the 11th. Certain goods were apparently never supposed to be subject to the reciprocal tariffs announced on the 2nd of April. Most media outlets thought the April 11th clarification posted by the White House was a new list of exemptions, but rather the goods were never actually intended to be subject to 145% tariffs. So again, and then of course Trump went and said fake news, yada, yada, yada. And again, this is in the description, so you guys can go ahead and check this out at your leisure. But one other piece I want to put up, because then this weekend, these guys from the administration all make the rounds on the various shows on Sundays and so on and so forth. And this one was from was Lutnick talking on ABC News to clarify this. And I'll let him, it's about 4 minutes long. I think it's worth the watch. Maybe we'll stop it in between, but let's let him double speak on his own here.
I'm joined now by Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. Secretary Lutnick, thank you for being with us this morning. I really appreciate your time. So let's start with that news.
It's my pleasure.
Let's start with that news late Friday, that this exemption on electronics, smartphones, laptop computers, and the like. What's the thinking? Why the exemption?
Well, if you remember, over the past couple of months, President Trump has called out pharmaceuticals and semiconductors and autos. He called them sector tariffs, and those are not available for negotiation. They are just going to be part of making sure we reshore the core national security items that need to be made in this country. We need to make medicine in this country. We learned it during COVID. We need to make it in this country. We need to make semiconductors, because if we don't own semiconductors here, remember, virtually all semiconductors are made now in Taiwan and they're finished in China. It's important that we reshore them. And so the president is going to come out with his policies on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. They're going to be outside the reciprocal tariffs. And he was just making sure everyone understood that all of these products are outside the reciprocal tariffs, and they are going to have their own separate way of being considered.
But
I'm just going to pause that for a second. I mean, I don't think any of us here, and feel free, guys, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, don't agree that, yeah, we should be making like our medicine here. Sorry, that shouldn't be made in China. And same with these, you know, semiconductors, or what they're considering this electronic equipment. I mean, you guys agree, disagree?
I most definitely agree. Well, especially since there's things in like the food industry where if you buy pork that's packaged in China and is going to America, they have a preservative in there that they won't even give to their own people. So is that really what you want your stuff? Like, you want your stuff made there? You want to be reliant on a country that has absolutely no problems and has not the best interest of your country in mind. We saw what happens when the supply line gets a little messed with during COVID, and how it completely screwed up everything. You were reliant on a country that was moving no goods out of its country. So you saw shopping, you saw your shelves in your stores completely bare. And that's not a position you ever want to be in. And that's kind of why we're having this whole tariff war to begin with.
Yep. I agree. I agree. I'm with you. Bedell, anything else you want to throw in there about that? And then we'll go back to Mr. Lutnick.
I mean, the tariffs are there for a reason, and it's trying to become or bring more jobs back to America. Because kind of like, you know, BC PortCorp said, is like back, you know, in the COVID days when we had shortages and the prices were outrageous because, you know, everything's coming from overseas, and that's just how it is kind of nowadays. And now other countries might be closing the loophole or closing the tariffs of, you know, we're not going to pay that, so you don't get our services or you don't get our goods, and then our prices go up. And okay, that's understandable by trying to bring products back and manufactured in the Americas, but it's like this problem has been around for so long that every country, I feel, is reliant on every other country in the world.
And
like,
to some degree, with some things, I think that's okay.
Any country right now that can be sustained by itself. I mean, okay, maybe on the short term, but on the long term, give them 100 years. I doubt any country in this world right now can do it.
Well, I think that's his goal with what he's doing. And I agree. I mean, you can't have, especially stuff like, good Lord, your medicine, the stuff to keep you healthy, you know, to fight off disease, whatever. You can't like parse that out, especially to someone who is less than friendly to you as a nation. Just saying. So, okay. So we're all on the same page with what he said so far. So let's bring him back up and let him keep going here, because that's where we get to, in my opinion, the proverbial doublespeak here. So with this administration.
But wait a minute. I'm asking you about the exemption, not about, I mean, the notice that went out Friday night saying that electronics, a wide range of electronics, including smartphones, including components used to make microchips, that these are now exempt from the reciprocal tariffs. Why that move?
Well, remember, those products are going to be part of the semiconductor sectoral tariffs, which are coming. So you're going to see this week, there'll be a register in the Federal Registry. There'll be a notice put out. That is different types of work. So we're going to do that. We did that in autos. The president's going to do it for pharmaceuticals, and he's going to do it for semiconductors. So all those products are going to come under semiconductors, and they're going to have a special focused type of tariff to make sure that those products get reshored. We need to have semiconductors, we need to have chips, and we need to have flat panels. We need to have these things made in America. We can't be reliant on Southeast Asia for all of the things that operate for us. So what he's doing is he's saying they're exempt from the reciprocal tariffs, but they're included in the semiconductor tariffs, which are coming in probably a month or two. So these are coming soon. You shouldn't think this is really outside of it. Really think of it as being included in the semiconductor space, much like pharmaceuticals. These require special attention, and the president is on it.
So you're saying that the big tariffs on things like smartphones and laptops, iPhones, all those iPhones built in China, that those tariffs are temporarily off, but they're going to be coming right back on in another form in a month or so? Or what are you saying?
Correct. That's right. That's right. Semiconductors and pharmaceuticals will have a tariff model in order to encourage them to reshore, to be built in America. We need our medicines and we need semiconductors and our electronics to be built in America.
Okay. At this point, he just keeps circling the drain with regard to that. So I'm just gonna pull that out of here. I don't know. To me, the way that this administration is handling this is my opinion for what it's worth. This whole tariff thing is a shitstorm. It just is. I get that to some degree, Trump is trying to force a little bit of chaos on the markets. I get it, but I'm so sorry. I think this is too much. That's my opinion. I mean, you guys feel free, jump in, give your 2 cents here, but this is, in my opinion, it's too much and it's too confusing. And you got sectors like ours who are sitting here trying to do what's right, trying to comply, trying to plan, and you're basically getting crapped on by this administration right now.
I mean, I completely feel like 125% tariff right off the bat is a bit much. Like if it was, say, like 10, 15, maybe 20% every year for X amount of years, unless if you start to comply and build facilities in America, that would be understandable, because if they're willing to get more jobs and make, say, semiconductors and chips in America, those buildings don't just grow on their own. They're not free. Those things cost millions, if not billions and trillions of dollars, and they take years to build. So by implementing tariffs like that, like right off the heartbeat, some companies may be better off just paying the tariffs and saying, fine, whatever, and increasing the prices as they go along.
Okay.
But I mean, so if you smack them with 125% off right now it's sitting 145% off the bat. So if you hit them with that, you are more incentivized to start breaking ground immediately. Whereas if, hey, we're going to put in over this year, you're going to pay 15%. Next year, if you don't move over, it's 17. The year after that, it's 22. If you do that, they're less incentivized to immediately start moving their manufacturing practices back to the United States. And all they have to do is wait for the next administration. Whereas hey, to avoid 145% tariff, I'm going to immediately start doing something where I can negate this for the next 4 years. And by the time that rolls around to the next administration, say they waive those 145% tariffs. Well, you're already in the process of building a $1 billion building. Why would you stop now?
I get it. I don't know if it's going to be enough. And think of that 145% is literally on one country at this point. It's on China. Now, don't get me wrong, that we are in a bad way, like he mentions, with pharmaceuticals, with electronics, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, of course, we'd like to reshore that, as he puts it. But I don't know.
Yeah, but if China just said, you know what, we're done paying the tariffs and just cut us off from everything, then how are we? Everything is going to go up like 10x. and it's going to go up 10x every week until there's no more.
Well, I mean,
Well, I'm
it'll
sorry, go
take
ahead.
time. There's other places that manufacture goods extremely cheaply, like India. You have places like Taiwan, Vietnam. All of these countries have manufacturing practices, and we're just overly reliant on China. So that's why it's going to suck at first, but you make those new connections. The big problem of why we're in a tariff war with China is they're one of the few countries that didn't want to negotiate. As soon as those tariffs were reported, you had all sorts of countries talking about negotiating deals with America. And that's why those countries got a 90-day pause and China didn't. China decided that they were going to give the middle finger back, and Trump said, fuck it, let's go. If you want a tariff war, I can do a tariff war. And that's why we're sitting where we're sitting right now.
Nope.
You know, I watched a YouTube video. I forgot who it was from, but it was about Prospera last night. And it's like a little billionaire club in Honduras. If I can pull that up, I'll put it in the link. But it's
go ahead. If you can bring it up on your screen, go ahead. Army Piper in the house. Oh crap! Sorry. I was trying to bring that up. And yes, BC, tell him, BC.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, we are. It might not be like a boots on the ground kind of war, but this is an economic war at scales that we've never really seen before. We've seen small examples where, like, hey, we got into a little tussle with Russia back when they first hit Ukraine, but like the tariffs that they got, the sanctions that they got, were nothing in comparison to what's going on with us and China right now. It blows it out of the water. And this is a global game of chicken between the world's two most powerful countries. And it's who's going to back down first.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I want to place a bet on that, to be quite frank, because I'm thinking it's going to end up being a collision one way or the other. I see you just put the link in there. I don't know. I can't bring it up from inside StreamYard though.
Yeah, I forgot who the YouTube documentary was from that I watched last night, but that's like a welcome all, just help out, do what you can. And like the things that go on in there are crazy because there's not as many red flags, and they're like trying to compete with all the governments across the world, showing like, hey, we have our own government. You know, yeah, some things work, some things don't, but they're like implanting people with microchips and, you know, like doing research on, I think it was goat brains or sheep brains was in the episode. And there's not as many red flags, so it doesn't cost as much money. And it's like, it's just kind of different. It's interesting.
Okay, well, that link, unfortunately, because of the way we're streaming right now, just so everybody knows, is primarily listed just on Badel's channel. Guys, we'll come back to this conversation in a minute, but I want to recognize everybody. Obviously, we just shouted out Army Piper. Jay Violet is now here. Don't forget, Jay Violet emojis in the chat, everybody. Appreciate you, Jay Violet. Army Piper. So the Piper Academy link is in the description on the two YouTube channels. So go ahead and follow Army Piper and Piper Academy if you're not already doing so. Appreciate that. And again, you're just jumping in. Appreciate you being here. The plan for HODL on the line. That's what we're calling this live stream every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time with the three of us guys. And hopefully we'll be bringing in some people as we kind of get our legs under us here. This is the maiden voyage. So you're just going to get the three of us arguing stuff back and forth here, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. But as you're coming in, make sure that you're smashing up that like button. Appreciate that very much. We've got a bunch of people on each channel right now, as well as X. So if you're on X, throw a hey into the chat. It'll pop in here and we will shout you out. Appreciate everybody who is here. All right. So we're talking a little bit about, or BC mentioned a little bit about, okay, there are other countries like India, for example, Vietnam, that kind of thing, that could potentially pick up the slack, for lack of a better word, I guess, or better phrase. Do you guys really think that that's what's going to happen? Or is it going to be maybe an American company that decides that, okay, we're going to do it because screw China? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
Piper has a good comment here where it's China's warehouse manufacturing district is going bankrupt in several pockets already. And this is because they're already getting hit with the tariffs, and it makes it hard for any demand to be coming in there to even push out these supplies to America. We are their biggest buyer of goods.
Yes.
So yeah, you're gonna see countries like as soon as we put out those tariffs, Vietnam was ready to do some negotiating with Donald Trump, and they manufacture a lot of goods as well. You had India immediately hopping in there, being like, "Let's negotiate with Donald Trump." You know who's next on the stage for global manufacturing? India.
India. Yeah.
And,
No, facts.
and they really are. They've got a billion people just like China does, and they're at a point where they're just trying to move their country from kind of third world into a global power. And so that would be another country that would be willing to pick up the slack. You're going to see a lot of more important things being made in the US, like chips and medicine. All of those things you kind of want to be made at home, because it's like, hey, you banned a bunch of Chinese phones because they spy on people, and you're banning Chinese software because it spies on people. But like, you know who built all the 5G? Well, like, not built them, but who has a bunch of the key gear for your 5G towers? Huawei. They're banned in the United States, but like, they made the 5G towers, so they're still spying on your American citizens.
Yes.
So that's the kind of things that they want to avoid. So we'll pick up some of that slack, but who wants to make t-shirts? I mean, there's companies in the United States, but they can't do it as cheaply as someplace like Vietnam or Indonesia, which is another big clothing manufacturer. So why rely on China for it when you can spread that money around?
And Army Piper also brings up Brazil. Good point. I should have mentioned BRICS earlier, and yeah, right here. Welcome to the unraveling of BRICS. Yeah, it may just kind of like, but why? Every country is what? Looking out for themselves. They're looking out for the best interests of their country, and not for nothing. Rightfully so, right? I mean, we're looking out for the best interests of our country. Makes sense. Buck is saying China does have better food than India. Some of that saucy stuff is nasty. All right, Buck. Yes, yes.
No offense. I'm sure people would probably agree with you in the opposite way.
Yeah, well, they may be. Yeah, but Indian food can be a bit of an acquired taste there, I guess.
Well, no, it's not spicy. They put spice in everything, so he probably can't handle all the extra level of spice there.
There you go. And Shubi saying he's wearing a hat made in Bangladesh. Say that 5 times fast. Bangladesh. Holy cow!
Hey,
holy cow!
My hat's also made in Bangladesh.
Well, there you go. There you go. And K Diggity is in the house. K Diggity in the house. Appreciate you being here, and I like it.
Nope. Mine's an American hat.
There you go. There you go. And listen, insert BC emoji here. I guess I got to do that, huh? All right, BC and I will work on something. We'll work on something. And we got Miss HODL in the house.
Have like the beard emoji or something like that, because everybody always gives him props on his beard.
Yes, I was already thinking that as when I saw that message pop up. And Army butter chicken and kung pao chicken. There you go. There it is. There it is. All right, we're getting a little off topic here, and it's making me hungry, not for nothing. But all right, so I'm with you, BC. I think, well, personally, I would like to see, especially stuff like medicine, primarily done here in the United States. I mean, that only makes sense. Every country should be thinking about themselves in that regard. And I get it, everybody doesn't have the same level of technology and manufacturing capability. I get that. I understand that. That's why, you make friends with people. But, to be completely dependent on even your friends, because today they're a friend, tomorrow, who the hell knows? That could change in the blink of an eye. Anything else we want to throw out there with regard to tariffs right now, guys, before we move on?
No, I think you're cutting out a bit.
What am I missing? Go ahead, please.
Yep, you're frozen just a little bit there.
Oh, I am.
At least it looks frozen in the StreamYard, and your mic's cutting in and out. But
I think that might be your internet, BC. He's fine to me. I just had to mute myself because there's a train going by.
Yeah, now BC is frozen. Yeah.
Oh, he is.
It might be you, buddy. It might be you.
You both seem fine to me.
I don't know why it was cutting in. Oh, see, you're perfect now.
Anyway, see, live stream problems, everybody. Live stream problems. Let's see. Piper put something in here I wanted to bring up, and I missed it. There it is. If you get cut off from the prescription med imports, we have a national supply of 2 weeks. Trump has been wanting about that issue for over a decade. I'm thinking whining on that issue for over a decade. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We still need to have, there's always new meds, new scripts, new whatever. I don't know. Oh, and there you go. Piper says it's you, BC. Bam.
Well,
yeah. I closed all the other streams that were running in the background. So
there it is. Yeah, I think it's you, BC. There you go. Warning. Warning. Thank you. I was gonna say whining. Warning. Thank you, Piper. Thank you. Make me look good. Anyway, so
Army Piper, I think that kind of goes.
We need a strategic medicine reserve then.
Well, I think we have.
I don't know if it's the government or if you have meds that you should have like a 2-week supply at all times in case something was to happen. I don't know what he's referring to, but.
And he's saying now our whole stream is frozen. Seriously? I don't know. It looks good on our end. I don't know.
I'm watching on my channel, and
that's what I was wondering about.
Man. All right. I say we keep going because we'll figure it out later, I guess. Guys, anything else you want to toss around about tariffs before we move on to the next?
I think it's a good idea. It's just going to take some time. And, doing the whole 125, 145% right off the bat, I get it. But, if they're willing to work with us, maybe relax on the tariffs a little bit.
Gotcha. Oops, I just hit the wrong button. And Piper saying, yeah, we got enough med supply to meet demand for a 2-week period of time. All right. BC, anything else you want to toss in there?
Not really on the med side of things. We'll just keep moving down the line.
We spent half the show on one topic.
Well, you know what? It's important. It's the latest thing, and honestly, with all the confusion over the weekend, I think it was worthy of our time, especially if and how it potentially might affect the crypto space with regard to mining and so on and so forth. And I like Shuby's idea here. Yeah, it's the government screwing with our internet, basically. Yes. We're talking too much damn truth. All right, let's bring up the next thing. Now I got a little bit of positive, I got a little bit of negative. So here's the little bit of positive. Now this happened, I believe it was end of last week, and it's been talked about. Matter of fact, I even mentioned it on my stream with Joe this morning, that President Donald Trump officially signed the bill to repeal the DeFi crypto broker rule into law. So, and this was the press release regarding that. That he did that on Thursday, so April 10th, to basically eliminate that. I think positive move. Obviously, the whole trying to make a DeFi exchange a broker dealer was just insanity, especially with having them try to enforce KYC and so on and so forth. It totally defeats the nature of the space, in my opinion. Guys, feel free to jump in on that, put in your 2 cents, and then we'll move on to the negative stuff. But what do you think about him signing that into law?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really mess with money in the United States and the government be like, yeah, you can do that anonymously. We're okay with that. Which is why you don't see a lot of paper dollars around anymore. And most of that is digital. They want to know exactly who is doing what, how much they're spending, who you sent it to, where is it going, where's it coming from, so they can stay on top of it. And I figured it was coming. You know, all of these exchanges already have KYC on them. And if you want to be in America and have an exchange, you got to have KYC. America is extremely nosy when it comes to money. They say
I ain't gonna argue with you there.
Yeah, they say it's for safety of the customer, but we all know that's a lie.
So then you think that we're going to see this rear its ugly head again, even though he's basically said, yeah, enough of that. You think we're going to see it rear its ugly head in DeFi again going forward at some point?
Yeah, well, I mean, you already saw them attack exchange these DeFi exchanges where it's, hey, we don't really require that you know who this is. They try to hit him with money laundering laws. I don't think that battle's done, especially when it comes to money and getting taxes out of people. I don't think the government's just gonna let that sleeping dog lie. So
okay, fair enough. I listen. I'm happy to take the and take the W here at this point, but you're right. It's probably a battle that's not done, especially once this administration is gone and the next administration comes in, especially if it's not a friendly administration to crypto. Go ahead, Bedell.
I kind of feel that was the whole point of the ETFs, is that it's like Bitcoin, but on the stock exchange per se. You know, you're going to KYC client, your KYC, you're going to buy this Bitcoin ETF, and you hold that Bitcoin ETF, but it's not actually true Bitcoin. But they think it is. The customer might think it is because the salesman pitched it to them as, hey, you're buying half a Bitcoin. You know, as us miners and us Bitcoin enthusiasts actually buy, say, half a Bitcoin and hold it on a private wallet, nobody knows who owns that one half of a Bitcoin. But as half a Bitcoin ETF, everybody knows who that is.
Yeah, so you're probably right for those who are uneducated in Bitcoin, but as you point out, then there are those who understand. And just to caveat what you said, yeah, nobody knows what wallet that is, assuming it's never had KYC Bitcoin thrown in it from an exchange like that does KYC, like Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, pick an exchange. So yes. And Buck is saying so they can control it for when they want to confiscate it. And I'm not against that. That was my whole thing with regard to the ETFs, but I think that might be for another live stream here because that might be a rabbit hole and a half right there. But yes, Buck, I'm with you. I agree. Going down the line of like the gold thing back in the 30s.
I mean, I know a lot of people haven't really said this.
Well, I mean, it's just paper Bitcoin anyway.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is like I don't think anybody's really said this in a
'Cause
while.
it's
In a while is like the most virgin Bitcoin you can get is the Bitcoin that you mine yourself.
Well, amen. Amen.
Because once you sell it, then there's transactions. But if you just mine it to a wallet that nobody knows about, that's not KYC, I mean, that's the most virgin Bitcoin. And a lot of companies, I think it was 3 years ago, right after the last, maybe 4 years ago, after the last bull run, is like the virgin Bitcoin was going for more than actual Bitcoin.
Oh
Because it
yeah,
doesn't have
there
a
was a
transaction
premium, sure, for
history.
the anonymity to it. Sure.
And it's
Makes
just,
sense.
to me, that's something that nobody's really talked about in a few years. But I don't know. I just wanted to mention it.
No, it's worthy of mentioning, but I think it's because it's less and less a thing these days. I mean, there's still people that'll pay that premium for, hitting up a miner to trying to get it to a wallet, or mining it themselves and getting it to a wallet that nobody realizes who controls it. I don't disagree with you. Hence the whole idea behind the solo mining. I was talking about that this morning on my live stream as well. I mean, last week another solo block hit, which is great. I love seeing that. I love seeing it. BC, were you going to say something and we cut you off? Sorry about that.
Oh no, you had talked about the whole ETFs and how it's so they can control it to confiscate it, when it's not even real, like, owning Bitcoin. It's just paper Bitcoin. And like it's
To the
it's
customer.
nice to bring more people in to that space, but they're not doing it through your traditional means where you actually own any Bitcoin at all. You own a piece of paper that says you have a certain dollar amount that's denoted in like a Bitcoin value. So
Yes, but the BlackRock or Fidelity or whomever has the wallet with the Bitcoin. So it's
Yep.
still, I mean, yeah, okay, to the customer it's paper, but like to them, and that's my point of the confiscation, because all that Bitcoin is being held by the one of the most heavily regulated industries in the world via this ETP for Bitcoin or whatever, pick one, Ethereum currently, and the others that are potentially coming down the line. That was my only thought process. It just makes it easier to grab it all because it's all right there.
Yep.
Easy
Well,
peasy
and
lemon squeezy.
that's that thing of it, is like, you already see the banking industry will do anything that the government says. If the government says, hey, we need this person's money because they were associated with such and such crimes, the government has no problem asking the banks to do that, and then that bank automatically complies with them. Has
Yep,
no problem
and right
doing
here, Buck
it.
says it right there. Exactly. Sitting there in Coinbase, because Coinbase, as far as I'm aware, is still the person holding all assets for all of the ETFs. Yes, I mean, am I wrong about that?
Coinbase with Chase. So I think they're held not on Coinbase, but like they have a Coinbase and JP Morgan work together to hold the Bitcoin for all of these ETFs.
Okay. I just don't want to put out completely erroneous information there. Yeah, bottom line is, yeah, I know we kind of got off down a little bit of a tangent there, but that's okay. That's why we're here, to give you our opinions, and not necessarily be completely apologetic about it. So there it is. You good for moving on? I wanted to bring up, actually, Bedell, I saw you walked away. Did you have anything else? I saw you went like this. Did you have something else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Then let me bring this up. Again, this, as I could see, it didn't get a lot of coverage, but did you guys hear about this? Fetterman putting in, sponsoring a bill basically to amend the Clean Air Act to impose energy reporting requirements and emission standards on Bitcoin mining operations. Did you guys hear about that?
No, but that guy's face looks like AI generated, kind of messed up a little bit. No offense, but
well, yeah. maybe, but that's legit. That's him, and that's the way he dresses when he goes to Congress. Pretty much, he's probably wearing shorts in that picture. But anyway, yeah. So again, I guess my point to that is, the FUD isn't done necessarily when it comes to the Congress here at this point. Although I gotta say, I'm surprised that didn't get more talk from Elizabeth Warren, but let's not get me going about her. Any thoughts about that, guys?
Unless it's some mining operation like what Buck has, where it's with oil companies and you're using natural gas or stuff like that, then there's not really going to be emissions. So I don't know what that's really about, unless they're just trying to find like loopholes to really hit oil companies a little bit more, which that'd be the only thing. But they're already paying emission tax, and mining the Bitcoin with what's not able to be refined and sold as oil is their way of kind of paying that emissions tax and negating some of the negatives of it.
Right. No, I think that's a great use of Bitcoin mining right there. Absolutely. I mean, use that wasted energy or potentially wasted energy to go ahead and mine Bitcoin. Winner chicken dinner. My humble opinion. Badell, any other thoughts before we move on to the final thing?
I got a lot to say about that. I just don't know what I want to say. It's just electric companies suck. When you start using almost 400% more energy than your neighbors, granted your house is twice the size of theirs, and the energy company fucks you, it really sucks. Lesson learned. Hard example right here. It sucks. But you know what? When one of my neighbors gets an EV car, or two or three of them get an EV car, and their power rate starts to, use the same kilowatt hours per month as me, then fine. But are they going to hit with the fucking deposit of 60% for 12 months? Probably not. But I'm hit with that, and I got to pay it. I don't have a choice.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, those what do they call them? Delivery charges or whatever. Yeah.
It's crazy that my supply is $90, the delivery is $180, and then the tax on that is like another $150. But my bill's like $400 a month, but my supply is only $90. I'm like, really?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And all right. Well, I just want to touch that. I'm looking to see if OC Guy is going live at 8 o'clock, because we're going to try and push over to him. We got about 10 minutes left. And for those who are just jumping in, I just see All Set coming in. All Set, appreciate you being here, man. Welcome. And make sure that if you're just jumping in, you smash out that like button on the way in. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Again, maiden voyage here for HODL the Line. 3 of us guys every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be broadcasting to my YouTube channel, Badell's YouTube channel, and X for the BC guy right here, sporting the beard. So there we go. And so make sure that you're sharing this out. Make sure you're liking it. And I don't see any link to OC Guy. So if he's doesn't have something up shortly, obviously we'll just end the stream. But here's the last piece. Posted. Oh, he did. Can you throw it in the private chat for me? All right, and then I'll make sure I get it set to forward. For those who are jumping into either of our streams on YouTube, you can see that we put a poll up. Matter of fact, Badell, why don't you close out your poll and I'm going to close out mine. I want to see what the totals are. And basically, the poll was asking you if you thought that the U.S. government actually knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. And I just ended the poll on mine, so as soon as those numbers pop up, I'll give them to you again, because for whatever reason it's taking.
I literally just left my page like 10 seconds before you said something.
Of course.
So now I got to go back in the road, and my Wi-Fi is just.
Nah, that's all right.
Molasses.
And listen, here's the reason why we put this poll in. Here's the reason why. because crypto attorney sues the U.S. Government basically to reveal Satoshi Nakamoto's identity. Okay. Here we go. We're going to just come down to here. Murphy said the lawsuit was prompted by statements made during a financial intelligence conference in 2019. At this event, DHS official reportedly claimed the agency had discovered Nakamoto's identity and interviewed him face-to-face in California. 3 other individuals were present at that meeting, each of whom played a role in the development of Bitcoin. So now this attorney is basically doing a FOIA request, looking to get the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto. So my thing is, come on. Do you guys really think that the government knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is? What do you guys think?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That they probably would have arrested him a long time ago for trying to make money in the United States, which is illegal. So yeah, that's just my 2 thoughts on it. I don't even think Satoshi Nakamoto was American. That's also my 2 cents on it. I think it was a group of people from around the world that are just, coders, or I think there is some NSA connections there that want to, because the code that they chose does not have like a backdoor. SHA-256 does not have a backdoor in their hashing algorithm. So funny that he chose the one that the NSA didn't have a backdoor to. So there's that. But I think it was a group of nerds from around the world that got together, because there's no way that one person could have coded all of that in that short amount of time from the 2008 collapse to when it was released in 2009. Not happening.
Yep. I'm all about it. I agree with you. If they knew who he was, they would have arrested his ass a long time ago and dragged him out, did the perp walk with him, and threw him in a hole somewhere. And that's my opinion. What about you, Bedell? What say you? Oh, you're muted, brother. You're muted.
Well, that's a good thing, because there was an echo for about 10 seconds. I felt bad. I was like, dang it, somebody heard that echo. But no, I just entered my poll finally, and it was 100% no.
Okay. I'll give you my results before you finish up. No, 57% on my poll. Yes, 42%. I'm surprised that many people think yes. Wow. Okay, go ahead, Bedell. Wrap it up.
I don't know. I mean, there's been rumors the last few years that the CIA created Bitcoin and, the fake character of Satoshi Nakamoto, but I really don't think so. But it's hard to say, because they want to control it and they're trying to control it, but they can't. So I don't know. I really don't think the government did create it, and I don't think the government knows who did do it.
Yep. Even if there was some connection, like BC was saying, NSA, et cetera, even if there was some kind of government connection, we're never going to know. We're never going to know. In my opinion, we're never going to know about it.
I mean, to me, it's almost like asking about what's in Area 51. The government's never going to tell you. They're not going to let people in there just to explore. Kind of the same thing with Fort Knox, with Elon Musk trying to do the live stream in there.
Oh, there we go.
The whole thing. I mean, it's so repetitive that over time that it's like, okay, it's just another thing to add to the list that the government's not going to tell us, not going to show us, not going to give us any information on. I mean, they may give us a little bit of information, but is it true or is it not? It's kind of like that gray line. Like, hey, we're gonna give you that gray line. You can decide what you want from there.
Yep, I'm with you. We ain't never gonna know. And Wick's wife in the house. I saw she was using the Shuby bucket there. So yes, I love it. I love it. And I agree. All right, listen. That's basically what we had here for tonight. We're gonna kind of we'll each take a minute here to kind of wrap up, maybe tell you what we got going on for the week, tell you what our thoughts are with regard to HODL the line going forward. And then if you are on if you are on my YouTube channel, you'll automatically be forwarded over to BC. If you are on X, and we got quite a few people on X. I'm sorry, say again. Did I say OC?
Not BC.
Did I say BC?
I'm BC.
Oh crap! Yay! And listen, I ain't even been drinking tonight. I'm just saying.
I get we're both brown, but we don't have the same names.
That's it. Slap me around. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, we're gonna go to the OC guy. I got it right that time. But again, if you're on X, appreciate you being here. I really, really do. Make sure that you're sharing it out, this stream. Appreciate that. But you're not going to be able to be forwarded automatically. Stream's just going to end. And same thing with Bedell. Although I believe, Bedell, you put the link inside your chat, right? So anybody watching on your channel can just click that link. Yes?
I literally just closed my channel because I was trying to get the forward to work. But then I remembered that
Bedell's channel.
Early, you need 1,000 subscribers to forward people, so
yes.
I'm unable to do that. So now I'm trying to reload my page to put it in chat.
Well, you got about 3 minutes, and Jay Violet, everybody who's a member on my YouTube channel, drop some Jay Violet emojis in the chat. Because here you go. She just put that link in there. So everybody's got that. Thank you, Jay Violet. Appreciate you. I'm going to even drop those in there. Yes. Jay Violet emojis in the chat, please. She's awesome. Thank you, Jay Violet. Appreciate you. So again, every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, anything you want to tell everybody about this stream or anything else for that matter before we wrap this thing?
Oh, no, I enjoyed the first HODL the line. I'm glad we have a name for the three of us to have a show together. And I'm looking forward to the next one. If there's any topics that people want to hear about, either not like learning wise or like news wise or just anything crypto related, go ahead and let us know. And we will do our best to make a show for you.
Exactly. Absolutely. Bedell, what about you? Anything else you want to throw in there before we wrap up?
Make sure if anybody can and is willing to tune in on Friday night for Crypto on the Rocks because it's a special. And
it is.
That's all I'm going to leave it at. And hopefully on Saturday, I'll be going live with Shuby in Nashville. We're trying to get that to work, but we don't know of a place that has a pool table. And I mean, that's the first obstacle. The second obstacle is, can we record it or live stream it? But maybe if anything, we can find a place and I'll record it and I'll upload it later when I get home. But it's going to be a good weekend.
Yes. Special weekend this weekend. Yes. Watch for that. I'll be putting together the live stream for Friday night, as always, for Crypto on the Rocks. Every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time on my my channel and Bedell's channel. So make sure that you are there. Also, dropping a video tomorrow about the importance of Bitcoin. And it is the three of us and Redman. I kind of put it together from our interview with Redman when we were talking about his children's book. So watch for that to drop tomorrow. Matter of fact, if you are a member of the channel, you already have access to it. So go ahead and check that out. But it drops tomorrow for everybody else. So go ahead and check that out. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it. Thank you, everybody who was here tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting that like button, sharing it out. Thanks for everything. For the mods that were in the chat, appreciate you very much. Army Piper, thank you for all that alpha that you brought into the chat. Appreciate that. Buck, you as well. Appreciate all of that. All right. I think we'll go out with our dancing.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm in my final days of my 30s, and I'm starting to feel old.
Oh, my goodness. You're a pup. Oh my God.
All right, cut it.
Cut it there. Cut it there. All right. Take care, everybody. We're going to, if you're on my channel, just sit tight. We're going to go see OC. I got it right that time. OC. All right. We're out.
Night
See ya.
all.